Hey everybody, happy Halloween. Welcome to IncrediChat, and I'm really excited today because we have a great guest. As you see here with me, we got a couple of great guests.
You got Frankenstein and the other guys. I don't know you can see there's Henry Hull. As the werewolf, curse of the I mean, this is embarrassing that I already got the name of the Henry Hull movie wrong. My friends won't let me live that down.
And we're in the laboratory, which is really appropriate because I'm here tonight with Daniel Roebuck, who is one of the stars of the new movie from Rob Zombie, which is on Netflix and available on DVD and Blu-ray, The Munsters. Daniel, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Isn't it nice? I'm in the lab. Yeah, I'm Grandpa Munster. I look a little different because I'm in my human form, but later I'll look handsome.
So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Daniel. You know, right before we came on, I was teasing you. I mean, we're going to talk Munsters, and I got a great segue into it because you've been in so many great television shows and movies through your entire career. People know you from Matlock, U.S. Marshals, The Fugitive. But my introduction to Daniel Roebuck was a small film where you were chasing around Frank Salazar. Disorganized crime.
Disorganized Salazar. Remember how I don't know, was it Salazar?
Frank Salazar.
You got an old copy.
I know. I'm a fan. I bought it when it came out.
Disorganized crime, starring the one-time Herman Munster.
There he is.
Fred Gwynne. They could do this. You guys, I'm watching the video, trying to point to him, but I can't figure it out. I had to go right.
You got. I think you're hitting like Lou Diamond Phillips.
I know, poor Lou. Sorry, Lou.
But yeah, so perfect segue. So you worked with Fred Gwynne in this film.
Yes.
And I know you are a big fan of Universal classic monster movies, and obviously the Munsters. So I mean, first I'll just ask you. Knowing Fred Gwynne, what was that like? Did you know Al Lewis too?
I did. I knew Al, and worked with Fred and knew Fred. I'll tell you two things. One is when Deb Gwynne, Fred's widow, when the news broke, she reached out to me, and she said this would make Fred so happy because he knew how much you loved it. Isn't that nice?
It's very nice.
So when people were writing horrible things on the internet, how dare these actors take over the roles, I thought, well, if Fred's widow was fine, and Karen Lewis, who is also a friend. By the way, Karen Lewis, Al's wife, wrote a fantastic book called I Married a Munster, My Life with Grandpa Munster, and you should find this book and read it. It's very good, well written. She's an actress. She's got a very good way with words. But Karen, in our last conversation, said, Al would say, it's yours now. Run with it. Because, I mean, they can't do it anymore.
No.
They can't play the roles. And the roles, don't we want the roles to go on?
These are characters that we love.
Yeah, don't we want to bring a new generation to the Munsters? And I'll tell you this I know for sure. We're bringing families to these characters. They'll find our characters, and then they'll watch the black and white.
The original.
They're never going to watch. Kids nowadays aren't going to watch black and white stuff.
My son is 9 years old, and we were watching some reruns on MeTV a while ago of the Munsters. He was digging it.
I will say, but make sure you're on camera, kid. Don't let the star push you off. But here's the deal. Your kid will watch it, and my kid will watch it, but they see us, we're watching this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But a regular kid whose dad isn't doing IncrediChat or acting in movies, he may not have that impetus to watch old movies. We've always watched old movies, and now my daughter's a writer director, and I know it's because she didn't watch Scooby-Doo 3, she watched Citizen Kane.
There you go. Well, and there's nothing wrong with Scooby-Doo either.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not Citizen Kane.
No, of course not. But that's probably the most important thing. And even places here like the Witch's Dungeon too, is that like these legacies live on, whether it be in exhibits like what Cortland has set up here, or in movies like this new Munsters, because these characters they have lives of their own. They need to go on.
They have to go on. Look, these guys came up with the great idea of the Munsters, and why can't they go on? And that's our job. And I don't know if we're in the Witch's Dungeon Silver Screen Museum in Plainville, Connecticut.
Yes, come check it out. It's great. It's phenomenal.
Cortland's an old buddy of mine, and I try to support this place every chance I get. I love it. It's really my dream come true. If one day I could have a monster museum, I would have it because I have it at my house. But I come to Cortland's, and I've been supporting the whole idea of it for many years. But it's the Silver Screen Museum. He's realized that it's not just about putting mannequins with Frankenstein heads on it. It's about enticing the viewer, to turn that movie on. Or that movie on, or any of these. We're really surrounded by characters. There's Dr. Five, the flies next to me, Nosferatu over there, and I mean the museum has so many wonderful characters, and created by Cortland and a team of artists who makes the environment perfect.
Yeah, and there's just so much value. Like we were talking about, like your kids, my kids, Like kids, young people still want to see it. There is a value. Like just this summer, my son, he was asking, he's titillated at age of like horror movies and stuff. And obviously, we're not watching it. We're not watching.
Freddy Krueger.
No, none of that stuff. We can watch but
you can watch Hammer films.
Yeah, and we were talking about like Bela Lugosi and stuff. So he went down to the DVD collection. He pulled out the Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. He's like, what is this going to be like? I said, well, it's going to be black and white. So I don't know how much you're going to like it. He loved it.
Well, he loved it. It's going to be perfect. That's how it's going to be.
So, yeah, I mean, there are people that want to see this. So going to the Munsters now. So when Rob Zombie first approached you and you heard we're doing the Munsters, we want you as Grandpa. What went through your mind, because you're taking on this iconic role?
Well, I mean, at first I had to say, "Are you punking me?" Because this would be very mean to me. Because maybe there's a show you never know called, Destroy the Actor Once and for All. It's a new thing where you offer the actor the role of a lifetime, and then you go, "Psych." So I didn't have fear. I didn't have fear about taking on the role because Al was so great. I didn't have fear. I played Jay Leno, and Jay Leno's on TV. Jay Leno's great. And I played Gary Marshall, and Gary Marshall's great. You know what I mean? So I wasn't afraid in that way. I wasn't afraid of that because it's kind of in my wheelhouse. And I truly thought anybody who else should do it, it should be me. And so I wasn't nervous about it, but I did work on it. We had a long time. And your followers in IncrediChat should know that when I was 12 years old, they could look this information up. I was a very young clown in a circus, and I was a vampire clown named the Count. So I was a funny vampire named the Count. Excuse me. We're around.
It's the dustiness of the lab.
And all the smoke. We're in the lab. Sorry, everybody. It's not COVID, I swear to God.
Igor wasn't doing his job of cleaning today.
No, he's a very poor cleaner. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
Yeah, have you ever seen a guy choke to death on TV? Here it is. IncrediDeath.
IncrediDeath.
He's going to have to rename the show. Excuse me. And now someone will write, they're not even standing 6 feet apart. Uh-oh. Shut up. We know we're not. Go ahead.
No, so we were talking about the vampire. You were saying the Count, the clown role.
Yeah. So I mean, look, God wanted me to play the Count.
Yeah.
Like I'm hanging up with Rob. He goes, "Oh, by the way, Eddie's not in the script, so your character is the Count." And then I thought of my card, my card when I was a lad of 12. Well, first here I'm going to show. Let me see if your friends. Look, that's me wearing Al Lewis's actual costume from Munsters Go Home.
Oh, wow.
People think that he was small. He and I were the same size.
Was he really?
Yeah, we were. He was 6'1", 225 pounds.
Huh.
But look at this, you guys. This is. Let's see if it turns. Does it turn?
Okay.
That's my card. Oops, see, I don't even know how to do it.
The Count.
There's the card of the Count. I'm going to hold it up because you're going to call that number and ask my father if I still do magic shows. And there's me at 12 and me at 58.
Wow.
So, God is good. I prepared for that role my whole life.
So now let me ask you, when you came into this role, so there were certain things that you did borrow from Al. What did you bring to the role that was you and your tribute to what the work Al did?
Well, I mean, I just approached it through Al. I can't say that, I plussed his performance. I certainly didn't. We're from from where I was born and where he was born is, as the crow flies, about 85 miles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You've got to go over the, horizontal bridge to get there from where I am. Yeah. But if you just flew, it'd be about 85 miles. So we're not, and again, we took the same amount of space up in the world with his height and his size and everything. And so I didn't really have to do anything, but I'm my own actor. I actually talk about the mustache heard around the world. If I had to read one more of your comments about the mustache.
Not popular?
Yeah, not weird. Like what people think. The other thing I fixate on is there's no Marilyn. This is going to suck.
That's a prequel.
Yeah, I called Rob Zombie once and I was like, Rob, in the history of the Munsters, has anybody ever said, I hope this is a good Marilyn episode?
We need more Marilyn.
Yeah. Oh, God, there wasn't enough Marilyn in that. These are things that were never spoken by anyone in the human language. But so the mustache drove everybody crazy. But in the first place, now that you know, I'm Count Dracula and I live in Transylvania. So I have a mustache because that's what Count Dracula had. According, I hate to drop this on you, to Bram Stoker, the guy who made it up in the first place. So I had my mustache. People hated it. And now when they say, Grandpa Munster doesn't have a mustache. Now he does. And maybe he won't next time, but now he does.
So, and that's a good question. So you mentioned that. So the movie ends, the family gets to California, 13.
Well, let's not tell them everything. Let's make them watch it.
Well, we know from the picture that they're in the house, all right? We know they got to get there.
Yeah.
Any word? Will there be a potential Munsters 2, Munsters series, animated, anything?
Why do we got to go right to animated?
Well, anything.
Why are you trying to take a job from me?
You can still do the voice.
All right, that's fine. All right, I'll go
Munsters the musical. You can be singing and dancing.
Wouldn't that be? I'm in my lab and making stuff and having fun, and that's what I do because I am a man who is a bat. I just wrote that right there on the spot.
I don't know if it's what. There you go. You heard it first.
Thank you.
That was like the applause.
Thank you.
Thank you, Igor.
That's so funny.
But I mean, outside the mustache, the response overall has been good. There have been people who are picky. I mean, with any kind of redo, reboot, whatever. But
hey,
overall,
this is what I say. Let's get our head around this. The Munsters, our version, is around now forever. It doesn't replace the other Munsters. It was meant to lead people to the other Munsters.
Right.
Because see, the studio, you guys, Universal Studios, have this intellectual property called the Munsters. And they want to make sure that the Munsters is something they own for a long time. So they keep remaking it so that every time they remake it, they reaffirm their ownership of the characters, the makeups, the faces, and the attitudes, right? So our Munsters is around forever. And I promise you this, it's going to be around every Halloween from now on.
Absolutely.
I will be meeting people for the rest of my life, and they're going to say, oh, you're Grandpa. And that's just how it's going to be. And the kids who are 5 now are going to grow up with our Munsters because they can't go to Chiller and meet Al and Fred, but they can meet Eddie, obviously. Absolutely. And Pat sometimes. I like that she still goes out.
Yeah.
I love her. But and even though I was saying that about Marilyn, that doesn't have anything to do with the actresses who play Marilyn. But that is the reality. A little boy didn't really watch the Munsters for Marilyn. A teenager did.
That's what I was going to say.
Teenager did. But a little boy.
But who's your favorite Marilyn? Yeah. There's your question.
Yeah,
right?
Well, you got to. I mean, Pat held on the longest. Yeah. You got to give it to her.
But absolutely, and I think it couldn't sum it up better. Is this Munster is always going to be around. And this for today's youth, my son who's 9 going on 10, this is going to be almost his age level. This is their gateway Munster, and like you said, this is going to generate people to go back and look for the streaming Munsters. I mean, I still am a big supporter of physical media. Go out and buy the box set of the original Munsters.
Yeah,
the
right.
2 flicks on there.
Right, and it's nothing. It costs like $25. And then you could get, they did Munsters Go Home.
And Munsters Revenge.
Where Rob actually, but they did a new BluRay of Munsters Go Home.
Oh, I didn't know
where
that.
Rob and Butch Patrick did the
nice.
the stuff on it. So that's kind of neat. Rob interviewing Butch Patrick.
Nice.
I mean, if this kid, come on, look at this. Could I have known one day that guy who was hanging out with that guy would be Al Lewis' grandpa Munster? I would have no idea.
Nice.
Yeah, but now I am.
So, Daniel, this was awesome tonight. Thank you so much.
This was I would have to say it in IncrediChat.
It wasn't in IncrediChat. There you go. And also follow Daniel. You're on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes, Mr. Daniel Roebuck. And what I love most about the Witch's Dungeon Museum is that when you come here, you tell them you want to ride on Dan Roebuck's secret elevator.
Check out the Witch's Dungeon, preservehollywood.org. And thank you again to Dan Roebuck. Thank you again. And we'll see you next time. Happy Halloween, everybody.